All right, so Elvis, can you go ahead and tell us about, give us an update of how your people in the MSF are actually, faring in Gaza at the moment?
Well, it's rather it's a deplorable situation for over 7 years now. When you ask about how people have been faring on, I would say globally in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, life has been really unbearable. Given that the civilians there, should I say, they don't really live the free life that they have known of in the years. Because at this particular juncture, they are like found between the hammer and the anvil. On the one hand, they have the Republican military, that's the regime, they got the state of Cameroon, and on the other hand, they have the armed fighters, that's the Ambazonian fighters. So at the end of the day, the people are lost in between these two because sometimes they don't even know exactly where to turn to. If you try to associate with the military, you are targeted by the Ambazonian fighters. If you turn towards the Ambazonian fighters, you are targeted by the military for collaborating with the people they now describe as terrorists. And then for those who even live a neutral life, like we see in the case of what just happened recently in Mamfe, people are still killed in cold blood while at sleep at night, like we have seen before in Gabu, in the northwest region of Cameroon. So it's quite a deplorable situation.
All right, we're really sorry for what is happening in Cameroon at the moment, Elvis Njine. But can you go ahead and tell us how far the security, I'm talking about the military in particular, what they're doing to actually stop all this from happening?
Well, the military is trying the best they can, but you know the war, like war professionals will explain it, is asymmetric. Given that they are fighting against an opponent that doesn't really have a fixed base where they can go to attack and maybe run after them. So at the end of the day, the military sometimes, in most cases too, is surprised by attacks coming from the Ambazonian fighters. So no matter what they do as a trained military, at the end of the day, their efforts are really not up to expectation because you don't have a fixed place where you can identify to say this is where the armed fighters are for you to go and attack. So I think so far, if you come back to what civil society and other political figures in the country have been proposing, we simply think that the best thing for the regime in Yaoundé to do is to create a conducive arena where Cameroonians can sit down and discuss this thing and resolve it around the table, because it is first and foremost a political crisis and can be resolved politically and not through arms. If we want to think that we can only pursue arms to resolve the problem, I'm afraid we have been into it for 7 years running now. I think November 30th this year, we've got us into the 8th year already. And I'm afraid we will be going for many more years of civil unrest in that part of the country if we continue to follow the military option.
All right. Thank you so much, Njine Elvis, journalist from Cameroon, for joining us to speak on this. It does seem that women and children are the ones who suffer most in situations like this. And we hope that, your government finds a way to be able to protect all its citizens, especially those in Egbekor village.
We really do hope so.